Alright, hello, this is Max. We're working on discussion 8, Spring 2015, CS61A. This question is asking us to define a BTree sum given some tree. We've defined BTrees before as trees with a single entry, which we can access with the entry function that we defined in the previous video, and 2 branches, a left and a right, which we can also access with the appropriately named functions. Alright, so we know this is scheme, so we can automatically think, okay, this is probably going to be a recursive problem. It's a binary tree, so we also know that trees tend to have recursive solutions. So this is looking like recursion is going to be a good way to go. What is this asking us to do? If I did a BTree sum of this tree that I drew down here, I would want to return the sum of all of the elements, which is going to be 3 plus 1 plus 4, which is 8. Okay. And the way I would do this is, well, I can think about it recursively. I know that if I really want the sum of this tree, however big it is, this left tree, plus the sum of this right tree, however big it is, and plus the entry, right? And I know I have a function that I'm defining right here called BTree sum, which given a BTree is going to return an integer. So I can recursively call BTree sum on my left tree and my right tree, and then can add in my entry. So just like we did this in Python, pretty straightforward. Okay, but first, base cases. What's the simplest tree we could pass in? Well, I could pass in a tree that just looks like this. So if my tree is empty, then I have no work to do, and I can just return none, right? So actually, the way this is actually defined, this BTree, is each of these 2 final branches also have children that are just empty lists, and we don't draw them in because they're just empty lists, and it doesn't make sense to draw them in. But so this is the reason that we have to account for this case. So because eventually we'll get down here and we'll want to recursively call something on this, and we'll want it to return 0, just to give some motivation for that. Okay, so base case is I get a simple input, which is just an empty list, and the way I can check for that is if null, whoops, that's not the right way, if null question mark tree, then what do I want to return? Well, if I don't have to sum anything up, then I'm just going to return 0. Otherwise, what do I need to do? Well, I need to add my entry first. Even if I have a tree with no branches, so just a single 3, I need to include this. And then I want to do is I want to add up my entry with the sum of my left tree. And how do I access my left tree? Well, we've just defined it in the previous problem with left tree. How do I access my right branch? With right, oops. Okay, I don't want to do that one yet. So BTree sum. This is going to return the sum of my left branch, and now the last thing I need to add is BTree sum of my right branch. I need to make sure my parentheses line up. This is going to line up with this, and this if statement is going to line up with that. Okay, great. So sanity check on this. BTree sum is always returning an integer, and so it's okay to call it with the argument plus, or with it's okay to call it with plus and some integer, and this is going to be an integer, and this is going to be integer. All right, so this seems right. And if you have any questions about this, feel free to post on Piazza on YouTube. Cool, great. Thanks for watching.